What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Muscle, and this is another Two Line Music Hut's Entertainment Report podcast. And tonight, we have a real artist in the building. I usually have artists that sing. We have artists that do all type of stuff. But you see this artist here, he is crazy. He's phenomenal. He does everything you could think about. This man does clothes. He does hats. He's an activist. Listen to me. I'm not even going to go further in this intro. We have Kurupt Stoddart in the building today. What's going on, my brother?
Yo, thank you for finally inviting me, my brother.
Come on, bro. You know what I mean? The funny thing with it, we had a good conversation at the funeral of Fitzroy Gordon, and that was in April. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then now we're in December right now, and it's only now we really get to connect, but nothing before it's time. But I'm so happy that you're here right now. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Even for Mr. G, that transition for him, like what he's done for the community with the radio station and having my imprint involving actually creating the branding for them with the logo. Oh, you didn't know that? Right?
No. Okay, here we go already. All right. How did that even come around?
When the radio station got announced that they are doing it, it's all about connections, right?
1,000% agreed.
Aisha Wickham is a good friend of mine, and she referred me as one of the artists to actually submit to be a part of this campaign of creating the logo.
Okay.
And I got Mr. Fitzroy, like the composites that I created. Yeah. And the one that they finally went with, the first rendition of it, what they used. Yeah. But with anything with brands, I always keep saying everything evolves and changes. All right. And then so the next stage of the brands got a little more cleaner, which they use now. But that was my imprint for the community. Was that like there's a lot of brands, a lot of people didn't know I created. Mm-hmm. Like for another Scarborough brand, which has some longevity to it, is Scarborough Basketball, SBA. Yeah. I created that brand for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Until I talk about it, people, shit. Sorry. Sorry, but,
of course, listen, this is free. this is a podcast. This isn't a radio podcast. We say how we feel.
All right. There'll be a few S's, but no F's.
Yeah. If that's how you feel to get the point across, that's what you got to do.
Appreciate that. You know yeah. So always designing, but having the opportunities to have your marks. Yeah. Like the logos are called marks, but having them in a way that is longer than you. Yeah. It has some longevity to it, and people are still using it up to this day. Yeah. Like even I ran into Nigel B. I saw him at Local 44. Yeah. And the man still uses the logo I created for him.
And that's with the red B in it?
Yeah, with the record play. Like I look at it and I laugh, but not like it's a cool
No, I get it. It's like holy smokes, look how long ago it was, and it's relevant.
They still use
this day.
They still use it up to this day. Yeah. And so when you start seeing people in the music scene like Baby Blue with the logo with the baby rattle. I didn't do it. Yeah, but the reaction. But just to know that you're involved with other artists and creating their brands, especially in the music industry. There's a lot of people that I've done stuff for that a lot of people don't even know. Okay. Yeah, like from Socks, from Julie, so... Well, anyways, I'll let you ask the questions and I can tell you.
Continue. We're getting to the questions. I need you to continue. What are some other brands that you help create their logos and stuff?
Wow. I'll start to the most recent stuff now. Okay. Is Dr. John Carlos, the activist for the 1968 Olympics. I am involved in keeping the lifestyle of his brand. I created that brand for him. Mm-hmm. In Toronto, there's an organization called Rise. Yes. With Randall J. All their branding through them. I do that for them. Let's see. I think he's coming back to me.
Yeah. As you speak, it just continues.
Like I said, like G98.7, SB, like I just mentioned. Mm-hmm. Then there's Ayanna for Soca Size.
Which one?
Soca Size.
Yeah.
I did her brand.
Okay.
Anyways, I don't know.
It's just a lot.
There is a lot that people don't know that my hands are in. Yeah. A lot of stuff. People stuff.
All right. What was Mark like as a kid coming up? Where did you first discover that you were artistic?
At a young age, probably like 5, 4 or 5. I remember one of the small memories that I have is like at I went to Danforth Gardens on Danforth. Where is it? Warden.
Yes.
Warden. So I remember seeing this cut up picture or a picture on the ground. It was an image of Robin from Batman.
Yeah.
And somehow I just saw that and I took it home. It's just a scrap piece of paper. Yeah. And I took it home and something about how it was drawn. I start mimicking it, start redrawing until I can actually remember how it was drawn.
Yeah.
And at that time I didn't have toys. So I had to create my own toys myself. So I would draw the characters and cut them out.
Yeah.
And I created an imagination kind of a space with all the characters that I would make. But my fondest memory is going to New York in the late 80s, and my cousin Norman, who was a comic book collector.
Okay.
Yeah. And he had a whole bunch of comics before he went into the Army. Mm-hmm. And he gave me some of the comic books. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know the value of some of the comic books. And I used to cut them up, not knowing. I know. You believe that? Not knowing.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
But,
But that inspired me from what he gave to me to actually start creating my own world, start creating comic books or superheroes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So did you actually try to draw some comic books back then also, or you just liked the technique of drawing?
Just the technique and just knowing that I can actually create the same thing what I see in the book and mimic the same thing. Because all what it is repetition, right?
Always.
And so what I enjoyed by it was just having my own time, my own little quiet space, and just draw and continue to draw.
And how long were you decent or good as soon as you started to draw, or that was something that you had to work on?
You had to work on it. I was crap. I know that I wasn't good. Like when I compared, and everything in life, I know we're not supposed to compare ourselves to other people because we all have a unique style, but
for sure.
I just knew that I can be better.
Yeah.
I just kept forcing myself to actually just pursue the passion what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So I was okay. I think I was pretty good, and I liked the certain things I like to draw before like doing the other things that I remember going to school like drawing landscapes or apples and pears and I'm like nah.
That's not your
but you have to do it because you have to get a mark, right? So but
what did you really like to draw at that time there?
Superheroes. Yeah, that was the thing. Mm-hmm. Like I had this one character I called the Black Ninja.
Okay, so you created your own superheroes too.
Man.
You weren't just mimicking what you saw.
I mimicked and then I created my own stuff. Yeah. Had to. I just wanted to just see what I can do for myself, right? Yeah. So that kind of gets that built the entrepreneurial spirit of doing my own little hustle, right? So,
And what were some of the characters that you created back then?
At that time, it was like Kung Fu movies are out, right?
Yes.
So that's what I wanted to create. And I always like creating things that are mysterious. So the ninjas at that time, that was my thing, right? So that, things that I love was basketball, right? So I would draw characters from basketball players. Mm-hmm. So at that time, Michael Jordan was that guy for me. So everything I seen, I would draw anything basketball. It would be him within it.
You know what? Now that you say it, you're right. Because I remember one of your earlier lines that I came across was ball heads.
Oh, sweat. You remember?
Yeah.
Because that's the time we were at the shop, though.
Yes.
When we had it up on Galloway.
Kingston Road there. Ball heads. So then now that you say it, it was like a character with, I think, about 5 or 6
balls. Yeah, the atoms wrapping around.
Yeah.
And that blew, because I did that the same time the Raptors came into existence.
Okay.
So that's how old that logo is. And it's still relevant to, like, I just re-released that. Because a lot of people who know me will know that brand itself, right? But that was that, when the Raptors came out, that's 25 years ago, right?
Yeah, so, it was like 1995-ish type of
Yeah, so with that, but even before that, I had other designs.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. Like, I did, 89 was my first T-shirt.
Was your first T-shirt back then? Yeah. What T-shirt was that?
It was, the image was the continent of Africa, and that time was the Black Panther for me. Now Black Panther, T'Challa is the biggest thing, right? But for me, that was my superhero.
Okay.
So when I created that in high school, I did that with him, with the continent of Africa, and our crew was called the Brotherhood, so I had that on the sleeve. And at that time, Carabana was on university.
Yes.
So like there's like 12 of us, or no, 8 of us. Okay. It was me, Rob. We all had our nicknames on the back of the shirts. Yeah. And we just went up on university. We felt like instant celebrities, man. Yeah, it was insane. So just seeing the reaction from people responding to what we were wearing, just sparked that thing in my head, like, yo, I can actually create things that people want. Yeah. And that's how I got into the T-shirt business.
Okay, and what were some of the other brands that you had created back then?
At that time, when I did the Brotherhood, we had a few designs I did. And it's funny enough, I was the same time with Adrian from Two Black Guys was coming out.
Okay.
Yeah, Adrian came out in the early 90s.
Yeah.
I think 92 was, or 91, 92, I think when Miles came out, right, on Young Street. So when Adrian started off, he was on Bathurst with Thurwell Bookstore with Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
So there's only myself and probably another designer, whatever. We were in Mr. Johnson's store. But Adrian took the initiative to have to go downstairs and build his own storefront down there. And that moved everything, man. When Adrian did that and created his own little space to create his brand.
Black guys.
Yeah, that's when it launched. Everything was moved forward.
So at that time, there was 2 black guys and then 100 Miles.
Yeah.
And you, Brotherhood, all basically operating the same time?
Yeah, around the same time. I think there's other clothing, because that time the music scene was all level of consciousness, right?
Yes,
With brand
yes.
Charisma,
Fight
Club
the power.
Everything was moving, right? So
self-destruction.
So the level of the music scene was going on.
Yeah.
People had to relate to that, but through the fashion as well, because that's when Cross Colors was coming out, Most Malone.
You have the medallions and all of those
stuff
stuff
man.
there.
Everything, the movement of the music was the scene to what we had to wear in the fashion. So there was a few, but to break through, to get that relevancy that people wanted to wear your product, that was an interesting part, right?
Yeah.
And if you were cutting edge, like Adrian was cutting edge, what he was doing, and then I was doing my little thing, was doing the cutting edge of our concepts. So it was cool. It was cool to be black at that time, to wear things, and just to wear and embrace what you were saying, right? But yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was good times, man. That was really, really good times.
This is early 90s we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, definitely early 90s. Yeah. Early 90s.
And then where did you evolve from after that there?
So with that, I was leaving or finishing college, because I went to Sheridan College. I did illustration and design.
Okay, so you actually, first you liked it as a hobby. You were just fooling around with it. And then you actually learned the technical part of the business.
No. To be honest, if you want to backtrack from it, as always, I was an artist. So I always knew that in Scarborough, there's only Wexford or Cedarbrae.
Yes,
where the schools arts, right? And since I was the second last school, I was at John Buchanan, and that's right opposite from close to Wexford. But I didn't want to go back to Wexford.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go to Wexford. It was just the distance.
Yeah.
And then Cedarbrae was the closest thing with the arts. And I got in there and I did regular class stuff, but it was the art program was the thing that actually elevated me to get to apply to go to Sheridan College.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, and also play basketball. So there was one thing
that was the big thing back then. You know what I mean?
At that time was the basketball for us.
Come on, bro.
You know, if I see out names right now, basketball in the late '80s, I think that's probably at the last stages of when it was every school was strong, like from Leacock to West Hill to Cedarbrae to Pearson.
East schools, West schools, everybody. That was the hottest thing. Ball. You know what I mean? Central Tech, Lawrence Heights, Bathurst.
You know what I'm saying? And then having the tournaments. Oh, it was the love to see community. That's community in a safe space. That's to watch basketball. Beautiful, man. Beautiful to watch, and just to be a part of that. So I knew I was that guy that had the portfolio in the hand and the basketball in the other hand, right? So that was people who know me will know that. Yeah, that was Mark. Yeah.
So it's between ball and art.
Yeah, either.
That's how you came up with ball heads. That's where you put it together.
Pretty much, because you try to create the things that you're passionate about, right?
Of course.
So sport always aligns with who I am. It's a part of my DNA. And then to tell the story through sports, through art, is a perfect marriage.
Did you ever want to take basketball professional?
Tried it, but it was weird. When Sheridan, at the crossroad for me when I went to Sheridan, my first year we won the nationals. We won the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was a good experience. And then my next year, I got to play more.
Yeah.
But the reality of it, my school marks was affected by that. It was affected pretty bad. But I was getting the time to play, but then I'm losing. Because it's like basketball practice, coming home late, don't want to do your homework, but you want to play basketball. And so I knew that going to Sheridan, that if I don't get my degree, my mom's going to kick my ass.
like any black mom.
I can't get nothing. Can't get no degree in basketball. So I had to make a choice.
Yeah.
So I decided the second semester I didn't play and focus on my school marks.
Yeah.
Which was cool. And then after graduating, I didn't really get a job that I wanted to get into.
Okay.
But a friend of mine who graduated before me got into textile printing, like printing shop.
Yes.
And so there's an opportunity for me to go there for a job. And man, from living in the East, that job was up in the West. So the travel to take the bus early morning to go, it was crazy.
Brutal.
Yeah, it was, but it's the only job you can get, especially in the field to be an artist.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I did that. So did that for a while, wasn't happy. And I'll get into your questions because I said, no, I'm going to just get out of the city.
Yeah.
And so that year, I just said a lie. I said, you know what, I got to get it. Leave the job kind of thing. And then I went to England because one thing I was born, because I'm born in the UK.
Yep, that I do know.
So going back home, it's a funny thing with basketball, there's one thing that they get a lot of UK players, but always the international players they accept. So I tried out for the team and I got on.
Okay, in the UK?
In the UK. So I did play professional basketball, but the funny thing with that, the passion wasn't there as much as I thought it was.
Got you.
So I tried it, but it wasn't there. And so I kind of left that alone.
Yeah.
And the money wasn't that good, so.
How long were you out there for?
A year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tried it because I guess this time you were so deep in art.
Yeah, exactly.
That basketball, you thought you were going to try it, like it again, but art had completely taken
pretty
over
much.
there.
But it was interesting to see if I can do it, right? But it was a good try in a way, but yeah. But I love it though. Yeah. In the mind, can't play it physically though. Yeah. But and then
everything starts in the mind.
True. You know, and then so from that, it's always giving back, right? So coaching has been a good way of mentorship, and coaching of the basketball teams was a good thing.
Makes sense. I know even at one point in your career, you were over at MuchMusic.
Oh, right. Okay, I forgot about you. I forgot about how you get some information.
Yes,
there,
of course, it's my job.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Good call, because I wouldn't put that into you asked that question. So I got to work at MuchMusic after working the textile printing company. Yeah. It was called Norama Design.
Yeah.
They were housing a lot of companies like Adidas, Roots.
Okay.
Adrian from Two Black Guys used to go there as well. It was one of the top printing companies in Toronto.
And they had a graphic department? Or
they had a graphic department. So myself, give big ups to Hayden. He was like the guru for all of us, right? He taught me a lot of things when it comes to textile and printing. And after when he left, the energy wasn't there anymore. It was just cutthroat kind of thing.
Work.
Man. Yeah, it was work. Yeah. But I just and that was when I started aging myself now, because that's when the internet started coming.
Of course.
So and I just wanted to try something different. Yeah. So then I got into web design.
Okay.
So I did a co-op. I did some kind of a course just to get into it. Did the program, and then a friend of mine, Jason Henderson, got into and after our program, they sent us to different places to work. So Jason got into MuchMusic. I got into this other job I wasn't cool with. Yeah. And Jason said, "There's an opportunity. You want to reapply and see and I'll get you in." So it's who you know. And I got into MuchMusic, and that's when I met Master T.
Okay.
Yeah. He changed. Wow. Now you start dating. Work at MuchMusic, but before MuchMusic, knowing Master T, Tony. If you remember his shows, Extend the Mix and stuff like that.
Of course, Extend the Mix,
So,
of course.
For designners now, behind him,
the
T-shirts on the rack that was behind there, that was our commercial for us.
Okay.
So just to see your brand hanging behind him, that's real estate for advertising.
Listen, really. On national TV.
You got that. You know what I'm saying? So that was a great plug. And then doing that and then knowing Tony, because at that time, he opened up a shop called T's Crib.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was on the Carlton and Parliament.
Yeah.
And a lot of the local brands within the city had her stuff in there. So I was one of the brands.
It makes sense.
After T was established from the T's Crib, Extend the Mix and stuff like that, he opened up the shop.
Which makes sense.
Him and his wife, Paula, lovely woman. I love her. All of them were just helping a lot of local designers.
Crazy.
Yeah, because Paula was Roxy.
Yes, I did a podcast with Master T a couple months ago. Okay. And that's where he told me about the Paula. But we didn't even speak about T's Crib. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, man, that was the community hub for local designers to have their stuff. And they can see how far you can go with it. So I was probably one of the top brands in there that was people just wanted to buy.
And what brand was that at that time?
That time was Nubian Classic.
Nubian Classic?
Yeah, so I've been evolving in my brand. So from Brotherhood, then evolved to Nubian Classic was the next brand that I did. But it was just the journey of just doing it and the connections that were happening, right? Because I'm always a creator, man. I always need to create. And
you have to be.
And the T-shirt or a sweater is the rawest canvas for me that has to be it.
Yeah.
And the lowest cost point for people to have.
Yeah.
So doing that and just, like I said, T giving us the opportunity to showcase our stuff and selling product in there was cool, man. It was cool.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So you had got to, when you had got to MuchMusic, you had connected with Master T before you got there.
Yes. Yes. So it was cool. It's like a refreshing. Now I'm actually working in the field where he's in, right? And it's weird, man, because I was in the web department. It was called the interactive department at that time.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. Oh, man. And so they didn't want to do nothing, for example, like Rap City.
Yeah.
They didn't want to create pods or separate sites for each of the brands. Okay. So I had the opportunity to have to create the pages for them. Okay. So I did like Rap City, Extend the Mix. So just aligning myself with Tony and getting the opportunity to create on the web component side of things was a blessing, man. Crazy. And then from that, all the celebrities that kept coming in for the interviews with Tony. Yeah. Proper. After Tony was wearing my stuff on TV. So you can't, it just built the confidence that, people are seeing the work, right? And it was a good journey, man. And still is, right? And building honest relationship with people.
For sure. And how long were you over at MuchMusic?
At least 4 years, close to 5.
You were there for a while.
Yeah, until 2000, 2001.
Yeah.
I take that back. No, late 90s to 2000s. Yeah. I was there.
So you were there when X was there also?
Yeah. X was there but he was summertime part-time. Yeah. At that
he
time.
was doing internships
at that time, right? And I was working upstairs when G1 was downstairs. Namageddon was downstairs working with like Pedal, everybody. Yeah. And for me, being upstairs, I know like for example, like Dead Prez. Yeah. And they came out. Or all these local artists, I'm downstairs, man. Yeah. I'm not even trying to do work.
You're just hanging out.
And then trying to link with them. Because I'm trying to build a relationship at the same time.
Come on. I got a t-shirt line. Look at this. You wanna
you know what I'm saying?
You know
like, but again, people upstairs watching what is going on. I'm like, yo, I gotta try it too, man. And then because I'm like the first to defense, like, yo, I can get these people right directly and just show them what I have.
And they're gonna be more receptive to you because you're in the building already.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You're not just running up on them on a street corner. Yeah.
It was cool because I remember meeting them. I remember like being in the music industry because that opened the doors for myself to meet other people. Yeah. And it's like I said, like for Capitol Hill with Chase. Yeah. With when Chase had Socks, Julie Black, and everybody else. So I was helping them with the designing. Yeah. So just building relationships again, right? So like
crazy.
No, it is like to be in that industry opens the doors. So leaving MuchMusic like I did, there was a job called Onyx on Don Mills.
Yes, I remember Onyx.
So I was it was interesting because Much wasn't really paying. Yeah. You were just there for the experience.
And you have contacts. You could get to artists and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So
but it was a good opportunity. Yeah. Like even my mom up to this day, boy, I wish she just stayed on MuchMusic, you know. But it's one of your best jobs you had. I'm like, Mom.
Crazy.
But it's a good experience. So this other job came into the mix.
You know, big up Master T.
You know what I'm saying? So I got the job there, but the funny was, it paid me more money. Yo, trust me, that's when money was coming in. Yeah. And like, because I didn't want to take the job, I said, no, let me throw out a ridiculous number thinking that they won't take the offer. So I throw out the number and I go, that's it? And they wrote the thing. I'm like looking like, is this a joke?
What?
Is this a joke? So I don't even remember that truck I had, the gray one, the Yukon.
Yes.
So that's the money from that job got me. Yo, the money was...
It was crazy.
It was good.
Yeah.
So at that time, getting that and also working in the music industry, I was working with BMG, Sony, Universal, and just doing all the web designing stuff. I was doing all the creative. So like, say for example, Baby Blues website, I did their website. Thrust did his website. What? Socks. Yeah, I was the person behind creating all the people's websites.
And you were so early to the web and design at that time. You're like, clearly, you're the go-to guy.
Pretty much.
Because there's not a lot of people that has the skill set that you have at that time there.
But not just me. I had another person, Sean. He was like, we were partners at that time. We called ourselves K2000.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was the back end person. I was the creator of this building, the look, the aesthetic of it. So
he do the programming.
Yeah, he did the program because I'm not. I can't speak that language, but I can visually do everything. But he's the guy who can make things to come to life.
Yeah.
So one of our bigger projects was, Click. It's all about relationships.
100%.
David Cox, called him Click. He was working at BMG at that time. Yeah. And there was a project that was called I Am Hip Hop. So I did a t-shirt called I Am Hip Hop.
Yeah.
And they wanted to extend the design of it and put it through BMG. Mm-hmm. But they wanted me to create all the aesthetic of it. So I did the website and then launched with all like Eric Sermon. Everybody was under the label with Busta Rhymes. And all the branding to that, they took the logo that I did and put it on the labels on the stickers, on all the CDs. Yeah. So the visibility of all the all the records, the CDs at that time, was crazy, man.
Crazy,
yo, bro. It was just to step back as you asked me this question, I'm like realizing how many times I literally put a mark on something that people got to see, not knowing me, the person behind it, right?
Because then you're getting a packet CD, you're looking at your cassette or album, you're looking at it, but you're not really wondering, hey, who did it?
Yeah.
But I did all of this.
Yeah, no, it's just be part of that campaign.
Yeah.
But again, it's back and forth, but that was cool. But even before that, like working for MuchMusic was just, again, opportunities just opened up. Yeah. And building relations within the music industry, right? So I'm just
so crazy. I want to ask you, what inspires you?
History.
Yeah.
I'm a historian, man. I love history, and I always like documenting and telling stories through that, through that lens. Community, people who are actually doing great things inspire me because it keeps me motivated, right? Mm-hmm. And reading a good book sometimes doesn't hurt. But
those are your inspirations that just one day you wake up and say, hey, this is what I want to do. Because one of the earlier times, because it was Ballheads, but another time early in your career also that I met you was when you were doing Kurupt. The T-shirt with the continent of Africa. Oh. And then like the skull, I think there was a skull inside of it.
The skull was Africa. Yeah. So it was this. Okay, you're good, eh? That's another old logo that people know of, right?
Of course.
So, and that's the story behind. So the story behind Kurupt is that going to school, my art teacher, will always keep giving me low marks.
Yeah.
I will just say he's blatantly, he was a racist.
Yeah.
He just didn't, like the people of color in that classroom didn't give us.
Always good.
Lowballed every time. So I remember I had this one assignment, stayed up late, put in extra efforts, and handed it off to him, thinking I'd get a decent mark that I'd be happy with.
Yeah. And
then the same thing, I get a low mark.
Crazy.
That's like how you say you're the teacher.
Yeah.
The table, like you're sitting there, I'm like this. I took the table in this, like, people say I flipped it, but I moved it.
When it's legendary stuff, they have to add something to it. Yep.
So anyways, the desk moved.
Yeah.
For it to be a situation that he felt threatened.
Yeah.
And he wanted me out of the school. So if it wasn't for the other teachers who advocated for me not to kick me out, plus I was good in basketball at that time, so they can't really get rid of, because they need me for the team to a degree. But it was just weird because my guidance teacher, Mr. Campbell, just showed me that there's a lot of people who don't have it out for you. And you have to be mindful that you have to kind of stand your ground, what you stand for, right?
Sure.
But not to be overly, it's not to be overly aggressive, but he was showing me all my marks throughout the years of school, like all the schools I went to, and just seeing like the consistency based on art. Mark is great in this, and there's certain things Mark needs work on.
Yeah.
And then what he wrote blew my mind.
Okay.
And he said that Mark has a snowball chance of hell of passing my class. So from that time, he had it out for me. So they suspended me for, I don't know how long they suspended me, but they wanted to kick me out. So my mom actually went to the Scarborough MP to fight for me.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that part of the story.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And went to the school. Then they said, "Oh, Mark, this is the word corrupt comes from." Because your son's too corrupt. And then my mom goes, "No, the system is corrupt."
Got you.
So that kind of registered in my head, right? And I kind of think, you know what? 2 negatives makes a positive. So if you really get to know me, you realize that I'm not that person. So I thought to myself, I can play off of that and use it as corrupt designs was the thing that create the conversation, why I use it. And then when you say that, I remember coming up with the name, and then Kurupt, the actual rapper.
Yeah.
He came out.
Okay.
Well, we were at the same time, and then I remember when the internet was growing.
Yeah.
And so we had this inky-dinky little server.
Yeah.
And we had the Kurupt. It's spelled the same way as his. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, when he came out with his double album, when he came out with his release, our servers was bombarded with people just coming to the site. Okay. Just hitting the server, like it knocked down our servers. How much people around the world? I could have, what the hell's going on? And so I realized if I already had one shirt or something online at that time, man, the amount of people would have been purchasing that product.
But you see how a lot of things just happen by accident. It was designed that way, but it was kind of an accident. You said, what if I do it this way? And that's when the T-shirt came into the fold?
Well, on the internet component, because I wasn't doing nothing online, but just to know that how marketing is and how you can utilize it, especially with the internet, because I just, at that time, the internet, you were just utilizing it just for marketing and just showcasing your stuff, not knowing you can purchase stuff.
Yeah,
and have a commerce,
stuff like that.
Have a strong commerce that people can purchase something.
Yeah.
Wasn't aware of it at that time. But to know that if you have something that's viable and people want, you can make money from it, man.
Yeah.
Truly.
Wow.
Yeah,
and when did your first design actually come out then for Kurupt?
2000.
2000.
Yeah, that was the next, because wow, this is weird how many times I keep changing my business name.
Right.
Because remember we talked about Ballheads, right?
Uh-huh.
So Ballheads was, so Kurupt, because when it was the Ballheads, I had the name Kurupt. So that's always encompassing everything.
Yeah.
Everything was there.
But remember, these are T-shirt lines, so these are actually...
Not even my art, not even painting. It was just creating on shirts, man.
So was it more, this is now my new brand, or these are extension of brands?
Just extensions, man.
Yeah.
It was just I'm the one source. Anything's in my head.
Yeah.
I can just produce it and get out before the next person can do it.
Yeah.
So I was just knocking them out the park, man. So I was just seeing what can hit and what people love. I was running. So Kurupt was the same time I was working at MuchMusic. So I was just creating designs.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's when Lounge was opened up.
Yes.
Across from,
yes.
That's what I'm saying. That time.
Yeah.
With the music scene.
Yeah.
It was beautiful because everybody would come from there and just go to the lounge where Damien was.
Yes.
And you just connect with people. And you just, whatever you had, man, you can have in that store. It was, because that's when T closed down the shop a long time ago. But that's when Lounge was the next urban store in Toronto. Yeah,
that's when urban stores were actually popping. Because if you look at the landscape now, we don't have urban stores right now. Everything is just, you'll shop at wherever you're shopping. There's no store that's carrying all the urban brand anymore. It's so crazy that how the landscape has changed. And as you said, back then, there was the music and the clothes went together, especially from a Canadian standpoint or underground standpoint, because the Americans like what we're doing over there, and we definitely loved what they were doing over there also. You know what I mean?
But just to have the opportunity to actually marry the music and clothing together and having building those relationships, like, I'm just stepping back but moving forward. Like, I still remember, which you probably will remember, when the early 90s with Adrian again from Two Black Guys.
Yes.
And when Mary J. Blige 411, when The Real Love, and then when she wore that on the video.
I forgot about that. 100% forgot about that.
Yo, that was for Adrian. Took him up to another echelon, so that's people realizing that we can do it, that we made it. That was our video for all of us, right?
Yeah.
So, Adrian was good at that, man. One of the guys who actually understood the fashion scene. So, seeing that opened doors for all of us, right?
Yeah.
And then moving forward, like I say, early 2000s, it's all about building a relationship with the music scene, right? Tying music with fashion, like how Adrian did it. So I remember when Socks was coming out with his album, and he was signed to Universal, and his relationship with Redman, was moving. And so when they were on MuchMusic, they got to wear the I Am Hip Hop shirt there, and they wore that. Red wore that. I wasn't expecting. You just never know how artists receive your work, right? From what I heard, when he wore that, he continued to wear that. He was on BET, wore the same shirt. Probably didn't even wash it or something. He just wore it because he loved it.
You know how Redman style was real grungy.
Yeah, it was grunge though. Yo, so just to building those relationships, you never know how it pulls off from, right? So I knew that connecting those dots like that, like and then with Universal, like with Michie Me, when she was on, what was that TV show?
Drop the beat.
Drop the beat.
Yes.
Like Michelle Light. Yeah. Again, it's all about building relationships. Yeah. She was the curator for the fashion component. And I was able to submit some of the brands in there.
Yeah.
So they were wearing the Kurupt stuff.
Okay, they're wearing it. If we go back and look,
we'll see. If you look, you see like where she's wearing it.
Yeah.
So there's this little inch that every year, anything else with opportunities, I'm there in the way of seeing my work. We talked about branding. Mm-hmm. I'm always there in the back scenes of seeing things.
And you were so early too. You know what I mean? Early on the scene, early to really get it, early on the internet. You understand from back then.
Yeah, just finding the opportunities, right?
It's so crazy.
So just to be in those spaces and then being accepted and people appreciating what you're doing.
Yeah.
I just have to be thankful for it. And it's still up to this day, stay relevant.
Yeah.
To it,
100%.
Right? That's the key behind it.
Come on, bro. Yeah. Relevancy. Another pivotal time in your career was meeting Dr. John Carlos.
Yeah,
all right?
2010, 2011, I'm meeting him.
Okay. Mm-hmm. How did that even come about? Because I know in some of your earlier interviews that I was watching, you said you used to have like his posters on your wall. So it's almost like you pulled him right out of your wall into your presence. How did that meeting even happen?
All I can say with that is that believe in vision boards.
Yeah.
Like whatever you manifest, whatever the ideas you have.
Yeah.
If you really put that in your consciousness, that will manifest itself. Yeah. I'm a testament of that, man.
Yeah.
And so at a young age, I always knew about that movement, not knowing the whole context of it. Mm-hmm. And in the but 2010, 2011, he did his autobiography of his life.
Yeah.
And he was doing a tour, and one of he's going to come to Toronto. Mm-hmm. But before that, I had to meet Dave Zern.
Okay.
As the co-writer for Dr. C as well. And he was in Toronto.
Yeah.
And again, opportunity is all about how you present yourself. Yeah. So I told Dave who I was and what I wanted to do. Shout out to Sweets Watson, because he's the one that kind of navigated creating this opportunity to happen.
Okay.
And so when Dave came to Toronto, I told him who I was, what I'm trying to do. Mm-hmm. And at that time, I already was starting the movement of Live It Wear. That's the next brand.
Yep.
And so
Live It Wear in 1968.
Yeah. So Live It. So with that, I was just documenting community people wearing the fish shirts. Yeah. And how that was happening was crazy. Like everybody wanted to be a part of that. Like even up to today, people still ask, when can I be photographed in that shirt?
Crazy.
So that was happening. Meeting Dave, telling Dave what I was about, what I've been doing in the city. He pretty much said, I can't guarantee you anything. All I can do is connect you and see what happens. So from that day on, that first phone call I had with Dr. C was crazy. It was like talking to a rock star in a way. In my way, because I'm actually talking to a legend on the phone.
1,000%.
Yes, I didn't know what to say. I was like nervous as hell. I was like stuttering. Didn't have my thoughts in order, what I wanted to like. Because it's almost like a sales pitch.
Yeah.
What am I really going to say that's going to impact
What can I say? What is it that I could do?
That's going to help me, for me to build a relationship with him. So I remember to this moment, he just said, yo, I'm your brother.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, say what it is. Let's see how we can align, see how we can pull this together. So those comforting words that he gave to me was more than enough for me to actually say, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
And from that day on to now, to 2020, I've been working with him.
Yeah.
And it's been surreal. Like every time I think about, I'm actually sitting with a legend. He's actually allowing me to trust in me to help build his story through the visual lens with art.
Yeah, and that's so crazy because, again, as you said, T-shirts with the fist. You see it in gold, black. You see everybody in those T-shirts.
Yeah, but again, and not just with us, but the image of the fist itself is so universally used. How do you coin it that becomes your own persona, right? So what I did with his is that adding the colors and actually having the silhouette within the fist of him at that moment signifies that this fist is uniquely his. And it's not about us anymore. It's for our kids' because when you create something, it's like with Bob Marley, say with music, it has to be timeless.
It's legacy.
Exactly. So if you can create an imprint that has equity, that it lasts beyond you, that has value, then you have something.
Which makes 100% sense.
A lot of people don't see that. They're living in the moment of now. And I'm not
right now.
It's not about that.
Now.
You got to plan. You got to consider. You got to really invest in what is it you're doing that you're leaving a legacy behind, right?
Because I know you have a slogan. It goes, "Your brand is your gateway to your true work." All right. Exactly what do you mean by that?
Storytelling.
Yeah.
I feel that you truly have to be authentically you, and if you're not you and you're just faking it, I see it all the time, right?
Yeah.
And you won't last that long.
Yeah.
So if you, like I said, it's all about leaving a true imprint of what you stand for, right? And that's what I get from that when I say that. So it's all about, again, going back to his legacy, man. It's all about actually leaving something for your kids. Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's not about right now. It's about 20, 30, even 100 years from now.
That's an investment.
Yeah.
But staying true to it. Sometimes you question, like we said, that is this the right thing for me?
Yeah.
Should I detour to something else?
It gets shaky. You know what I mean? And
but
you
that's what life
question
is all
it
about.
along the way a lot.
We do, but that's what life is all about, man.
Yeah.
It challenges us, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of puts us back into the right perspective that maybe I should do this.
Yeah.
I had many times I had doubts, like the time when things were going so good for me.
Yeah.
But when everything goes up, something has to come back down.
Trust me.
So with even that, working at that company I was talking about, making good money, downsizing.
Yeah.
And the person who's making the top money, you get cut off.
You're first to go.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
So I got let go at that time. And I was still designing for a lot of people. Like for the BMG, I was doing like even Ghetto Concept. I did stuff for them.
Okay.
So doing stuff for the music industry, but not as much as I would like it to happen. And I needed a job.
Yeah.
And doing the freelance stuff was cool, but wasn't paying the bills.
You need something more consistent.
So this is when life becomes humbling for you.
Yeah.
So growing up, my dad, his only job he worked for was working for Cadbury. So I was a Cadbury baby.
Yeah.
And what's cool with that was that I remember my dad coming home, bring all the candies.
Yes.
Any like from Bubblicious, from Mr. Big, whatever that is, he'll bring it to the house, and I usually take that back to school.
Yeah.
And share it with my friends.
Got you.
But the funny thing with that, and I realized, I can make money from this.
Yeah.
So I would bring the newest stuff,
Yeah.
and I used to sell it.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, man. So that kind of sparked. So I want to get why I say that, because growing up at a teenager, we used to have a summer job. I used to work there, and it was cool. And I loved it, but I hated it at the same time.
Yeah.
You know those jobs that you hate, and you fall asleep in your own bed, and you start dreaming that you're in your work. So you don't really get no sleep. You just like, So it's like one of those jobs, but it was like a love-hate relationship with that job. And losing the job, the good job that I had, my dad goes, well, you always come back to Cadbury.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I ain't going back to that job.
Yeah.
But I was working there in shipping and receiving. Again, it's a humbling experience, but you have to do what you have to do. And a young lady was on mat leave, was going on mat leave.
Okay.
And there was a position of a graphic designer. So the universe always kind of brings things back full circle again. And so I applied for the position. They knew my dad.
Yeah.
And I got the job. So I was working there. It was good money. It was decent. I was happy. And I was learning a different side of graphics.
Okay.
So at the same time, it was great. It was a great opportunity.
Yeah.
And so with the labels and packaging, like all the factual labels, like the ingredients and stuff like that, I was doing all that stuff.
Okay.
It's menial work, but it was a job. And so this is with that time, I was there and my contract was just about to ending. And that when we heard, and again, you'll know the story, but when Sean passed away, when Blue passed away, that totally rocked the community as a whole.
Of course, 100%.
And seeing the community in that space in Malvern.
Yeah.
And it's funny enough, I was with Nigel, and his birthday was, he transitioned like 2 years ago on my birthday, which was, it's life to me when I see people pass, kind of puts me in a different perspective. I gotta live. Why am I here? What is my purpose?
What is my purpose?
So when I was with Nigel at that time, when we went to see Sean's funeral, it was moving enough for me to realize that I gotta leave my imprint. I can't just exist. I gotta live. And I left that job.
Yeah.
And then from onwards, I said, I gotta work for me. And I started doing my own thing. 100. I never stopped.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. As you said, it's the universe. Once you put it out there, you see, you believe it, you try to follow what your purpose is, you'll get there.
Yeah. And I was always that guy that, I was I hustled. Anything I say, I have to learn how to flip it.
Yeah.
I remember, it's crazy when I say it, because that just brings me back, like, working at a textile printing company, there were like these off shirts. Like they weren't really off, but the way the print was off.
Yeah.
I used to gather all those shirts and I run to all the barbershops, man. I flip the shirts, man.
Yeah.
Because you get them, if you go into shops like say New Era to get these shops, like one of the designs of these all over sports prints.
Yeah.
And in the store they're like, say like $80 or $70 at that time. And I'm like getting the doubles of those and flipping them for $50. And guys at the shop I was caking. Like, oh man.
Crazy. You gotta hustle, bro.
Yo, I'm telling you, if you have you're
crazy. Listen, I know you've been doing art exhibitions from about year 2000. One of your latest ones was Reconnect at Scarborough Town.
Yeah.
How did that opportunity even come up with Nuit Blanche?
Again, it's all about relationships, man. Yeah. And Ashley Mackenzie Barnes, a good friend of mine, she was the curator.
Okay.
And she's been following my work from time.
Yeah.
And it was a good time.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't a designer painting as much as I stopped painting.
Okay.
But I've been designing.
Yeah.
And her seeing what I've been doing, and it was a great fit. So I reached out to her and I said to her that I've been doing this from time. And they already know, so this would be a great time to actually reintroduce myself and actually reconnect everything to what the composition was, right? It was about connecting the community. So I submitted my idea.
Yeah.
That I wanted to honor the community of people who've done something, who paved the way for the next up and coming future Scarboroughians.
Yeah.
And they loved it.
Yeah.
Using that space and owning that space within Scarborough and the tunnel area that leads you into the Civic Center to catching the bus was phenomenal, man. It was surreal.
So did they actually offer you that space, or you knew where you wanted to
I knew what I wanted to do. Yeah.
Okay.
They said that I got it, and I said, where would you like to think to be a great installation? This is where I wanted to do it.
Okay, so you had a vision for what you wanted to do.
Because I saw the last year's art, because this is the second year Nuit Blanche happened, right?
Yes, in Scarborough.
So when they had the installation last year, somebody had an area there.
Yeah.
And his work was great. His name was Chris. And it just didn't actually illustrate all what he wanted to do.
Got you.
He didn't utilize the whole space. So I said, no, if I get this space, I know what the hell I'm going to do with this spot, man.
Yeah.
So knowing that Ashley was curating, I told her, Ash, give me the opportunity. This is what I wanted. She goes, let me pitch it to them and see what they have. And it was one of the local artists, myself, Daryl, and another lady from the States was also one of the main artists.
Okay.
And I didn't know. When you just create something, but I didn't realize how impactful. It really got people to appreciate. Like, it got shared, communicated. People were just talking about it. It got me onto the radio stations, got me onto TV.
I seen you on TV.
Yeah,
I seen you everywhere.
Yeah, it was weird, to be honest. I knew what I was trying to do, but didn't know the capacity that it was reaching so much people and the way they were touched by it.
So for anybody that didn't actually get to see it or heard about the installation, exactly explain to them what it was.
Well, Reconnected to me was actually claiming space again.
Yeah.
And like I said, I felt like going to the infrastructure of the Scarborough Town has changed so many different ways. But the people are still the same. People who've impacted that space, right? And people of color. So I just wanted to be in a position to actually tell that story through that narrative and that lens, and also tie in community stuff. So my technique is always using news articles or documenting stories.
Okay.
So with my sports collection and my Activision collection that I've done, I always find articles that reflects the person that I'm using. So this process was kind of interesting because the articles didn't really cater to the subject matter.
Yeah.
But some did. There's some people that I found articles that had more to tell. But it was good to actually researching but finding people's personalities.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if it was Maestro, all the articles that I found dealing with arts and stuff like that, I would tie that all with him.
Okay.
If there was something dealing with sports, I would tie that into that particular athlete.
Yeah.
So it has some connection, but then there's some stories that really resonated, like with Jamal McGlure.
Yeah.
There was articles in there based on him, with his stuff working with, the one that he works for, not the Raspberries, I mean, but it was his Caravan of stuff.
Yes,
it wasn't to say Carnival Nation, but it's not. It's
I'm going blank now.
Yeah, me too. and we're recording this now, so when people watch this, like, yo, what
Jamal, forgive us. You know what I mean?
Why is it? Anyways,
the mass camp.
Yeah, but yes. I'm trying to remember which because I'm not even. Okay, I'm not that guy.
Yeah,
so forgive me. Mm-hmm. But I know I'm gonna get myself stumped on this one. But his story and having his brother who was killed, and kind of finding the articles based off of that. And
Justin Shepherd.
Yep.
Now that you say it, I totally forgot about that. That was his brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
his half brother. So having that and finding the articles and tying it to Jamal, and then his successes, like within the community, what he's been doing, and then having that of his brother who's passed, and then tying him winning with the Raptors, and tie it all into that one piece.
Perfect.
Becomes a beautiful piece.
Perfect.
And it becomes something that belongs to the community, right?
And how many subjects did you have?
That was 19.
19. It was an even. No,
it wasn't because it wasn't even. It was more women's to men. Women. I used to all the windows. And
so 10 women, 9 men.
Exactly.
Do you remember exactly who was in the exhibit?
Ooh, now you're gonna put pressure on me now. So I'm a visual artist, so let's step back. So it was Sam Mancana. Sam is the president of SBA.
Okay.
So Sam was the person that allowed me to actually create the branding for them.
Got you.
And still have a good relationship with him. So I wanted to use subject matter that people have a personal relationship with. So Sam was one. Dwayne Nazario, relationship with him. It was great to actually tie that in with him. Cardi.
Yep.
Was a good look. Then it was Jameen Singh. I didn't even know he was from Scarborough. I don't know him.
Yeah.
That's what the Nuit Blanche suggested to get.
Yeah.
So he was. He never came down, but it worked. And then there was I did say Maestro. Did I say Maestro?
Yes.
Maestro.
Jamal.
Dwayne Morgan. And Jim Cregan.
Yes.
From Bear Lake Ladies. And a lot of people don't. Me and Jim Cregan went to the same public school.
Okay.
Same public school. So it's just again, it's all about reconnecting. So not seeing him since junior public school and actually reaching out.
Yeah.
And meeting with him and this guy's memory is on point.
Crazy.
What
you remember is so crazy.
He remembers. I remember points, but he took it to another. Storytelling.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. Yeah. So
who were some of the women that you had on the exhibit also?
So there was Lily Singh.
Yep.
There was Mitzi Hunter. Bernice Carnegie. She is Herb Carnegie's daughter. So Herb Carnegie is one of the legends of hockey, and his opportunity not to play in the NHL was one of the stories a lot of people don't know about. So it's great how she honors her father, and tells his experience.
Yeah,
and it's funny what's happening with hockey today. It's so relevant to what he went through, to what's happening now. So
was Carnegie Hall named after him?
No, he has a school up in Vaughan. Named after him, and there is a hockey arena in the West End named after him as well.
Okay,
yeah,
that's so crazy. No, I remember when we actually came to Scarborough Town. We went to Nuit Blanche. I seen you, I think, in the day or something. I said, "Yeah, we're coming." When I came through and I actually seen the exhibit, it was the installation. It was mind blowing. You know, what I mean? It was crazy.
Just now you telling me just thinking about it, it takes me back because just to be involved in it and prepping for it, I put all 100 in.
Of course, you have to. You have
to. From what they did for me, I took it to another, building the story, getting people involved, letting people know what's happening, and then having it so organically happen, everybody was sharing it, was mind-blowing because you're going to do so much, but if the community as a whole was speaking to that, it was good. It was a good look. And then actually having the party afterwards, just to celebrate and telling, and letting people know that I appreciate the time they did for me and giving them their gifts.
Yeah,
it was a good little send off, and I feel like it has to happen again.
Yeah,
has to happen
for sure.
Again.
That was we loved it. We were there from around 3:00 in the morning. We got there, And we're there right till the end.
Yeah, at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, we got to Nuit Blanche late, and we stayed right until...
Yeah, you came to the end. Yeah. I saw the man. I was dead tired.
Yeah. When it's like, holy smokes. But it was like the love kept you up.
Yeah, the energy.
You know what I mean? The energy.
But I can be honest with this.
Yeah.
I can, because we're just talking this openly, that I put so much into that, it burnt me out.
Yeah.
I never thought in my life that as an artist, I worked doing what I normally been doing, like late hours, just who I am. Mm-hmm. But this put a toll on me. I never thought I can say I was done.
Because remember, I think Nuit Blanche is like 12 hours or something.
Yeah, but just to prep for that, and then after that, and then still keeping it going and building the brand that people know. Yeah, it was very exhausting in a way of just putting so much in that, and then doing other things. It's just I didn't have time for me.
Understandable.
And then I realize now, like going forward, I can't do that again.
Yeah,
it kills you. Yeah, it will kill you mentally.
And that's where it all starts, is in your mind. It's like, but once your mind is drained, the body's gone too. And that's really what it comes down to.
Most definitely.
2019, 2020, when people say being woke, what is that to you right now in today's environment?
Being self-aware, man.
Yeah.
I've always been awake. Yeah. Like, I think this is a calling for everybody to actually know knowledge of self. Mm-hmm. And like I said, going back to knowing your purpose, like really defining that you're only here for a short period of time. Yeah. There's two things that's guaranteed in life. Yeah. The day that you're born and the day that you die. That's it. So the thing is, that dash in the middle is what dictates what you're going to be doing, building your blueprint. Mm-hmm. So if you haven't figured that out now, this is the time, like 2020, is like actually like really do soul searching within yourself. Yeah. Just to dig deep to figure out what is it that I want to do, or leaving that true purpose or that legacy. Yeah. That's going to change people's life, or the next generation that move forward in. Mm-hmm.
No, because it's crazy, especially with today where you could, on the internet, you could find so much information. There's so many groups about stuff. A lot of people claim that they're woke, but they're only woke online. They're not real life woke.
Yeah, they're not doing the action behind it, right? Yeah. But that's with anything, man. Mm-hmm. And that's what they can't be fooled by what the internet gives you. Yeah. Because it's like a portfolio. You see somebody, you stream down their timeline, they see it now, and you look see, like, sometimes people block all the rest of the stuff that they used to do. But if you see people that watch some people's timeline, you see if they've been consistently doing that, and you know that they're legitly speaking to that. Some people, it's a fad. Like, maybe in the level of consciousness, this is the talk now. Everybody's woke now because they're speaking to that. Yeah.
Because that's what the time
that's what they're in. That's the era that we're in.
It's cool right now.
It's cool to actually put your fist in your air and do it. But yeah, you can do it, but are you speaking to that? Are you really in the fields doing something, right? And living it and wearing it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And that's really what it comes out.
That's what it is. You got to walk the walk, talk the talk, right?
It's crazy. And somebody like you, I know you do a lot of work in the community with a lot of the youth and stuff right now. But right now you've seen the spike in the violence in Toronto, I'd say over the last 2, possibly 3 years. All right? You being so close, you being dealing with the youth, what are they telling you is a real problem with the gun violence in the city? What is the root problem?
I think it's opportunities. I think we need safe spaces. Okay. Like what Rise is doing, like you got to come. Like you're just down the street from me. You got to see what the energy that happens at that space every Monday night.
That's spoken where they're doing spoken word.
They do everything that's based on the arts. Yeah. It was from arts, from actually drawing. Okay. From dancing, from emceeing, whatever, through dance. Yeah. All the elements of hip hop is there. Mm-hmm. And it just builds so much self-confidence. Mm-hmm. And just seeing these young people coming out of that space is a different kind of energy, man. And it's prepping them for the rest of the week. So I feel that they need to have more spaces like that for this to kind of reduce the gun violence in the way of giving kids a little more opportunity and then giving them jobs, man. Then the thing about there's no opportunities for kids to succeed. Yeah. So we need to figure that out. Yeah. That's where I really comes down to, right?
But when you say opportunity, you have to remember that we didn't grow up with the internet. Now there is internet. Mm-hmm. So is it the opportunity isn't there and they're not looking for it? What really do you, or even did they actually come to you and say, hey, look, this is the problem that we're having in our community. This is why we're so violent. This is why there's so much guns and everything in the streets right now.
I just feel like there's not enough of us as mentors.
That I agree with.
To kind of navigate or give them opportunities. Yeah. I think that definitely helps. Yeah. So they can see what success looks like.
Fair enough.
the internet again. It's again information is there.
Yeah,
it's given. But it's what you're going to do with that, right? How you're going to reach the great, because everything is so in front of you.
Yeah,
you get too complacent, man. And then they get. And I see kids now that everything's supposed to be given to them. There's no hustle behind that.
Yeah,
so it's just changing the frame of doing things is definitely important. And like I said, put them in spaces that they can actually see what success looks like. It's important. Like I think I repeated that, but I go back to Rise. Like if we can create models like what Rise is doing in different places, can definitely help.
Yeah,
because you're seeing some changes of some of these kids that where they were before.
Yeah,
and maybe they can influence the ones that they can get directly to, that who are the kids that have the guns. Maybe can kind of influence them to say, yo, make a day and come to Rise or whatever that is, and just see a different aspect of them doing what you're doing now.
Yeah.
Just give them options. It's always giving them options, man.
Yeah, that's what it is, because right now it's ridiculous.
There's no options.
But I mean, as in, one time, okay, it would be Jane and Finch. There's a lot of stuff happening over there, and it's concentrated. Or it's happening in Jungle, or it's happening in Malvern, or wherever it's happening. Now, it's happening everywhere. From far Oshawa to Georgetown and everything in between. I've never seen the city like this before.
I wish I can give you all the answers to this one, but it's like, I think us communicating or talking about it is great, but again, I'll come back down. What are we, the action behind it, right? There's too much talk sometimes, man. We have to figure out.
What's the action? It's like, okay, we're figuring it out, but what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, we need to.
And that's really what it comes down to.
And like all of us put some skin in this, man, because it's again, it's all that legacy and all about when we're gone, right?
Yeah.
You got to figure out how you're going to impact the next generation of kids, right? So they don't keep following that same pattern. Like I said, history doesn't repeat itself. It's people repeating history, right?
I like that one. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's big. Right now, you're wearing a brand that I see you're pushing a lot right now.
Representing this space that I've been in for how many years, man?
Scarborough, but it's just Borough with the S behind it. How did you even come up with that?
I have to give bigs up to Fives on Top, Matt, because he's been pushing Scarborough for a while.
Yeah.
And I thought for myself, for this launching of Nuit Blanche, because I represent Scarborough, I thought I had to at least create a brand that kind of reflects that represents me. So before coming with the idea, I knew what I wanted to do, but I don't want to step on other people's toes who started something like that. So I asked Matt, because Matt had established something. I want to do this, and he gave me his blessing. Yo, Mark, I'm not doing as much as I was.
Yeah.
So yo, just run with it.
Go ahead.
So I said, yo, I have to give thanks to him to allow me to do that. And brands is all about timing.
Yeah.
It wasn't, if I did this like 5 years ago, people wouldn't be receptive to it. It was just now everybody's like owning spaces. Yeah. And everybody's like, they know when they see this and they see like the bluffs below, they know that
Scarborough.
It's Scarborough. Yeah. Like you can't, it can be, when you see that shape, you already know that it belongs to us, right? And I feel like everybody wants to go, if they go to New York, wherever they're going around the world, they want to represent. It's like when we're from New York, but everybody wanted to wear a Yankee cap.
Oh man, listen, I didn't get a Blue Jays hat until probably
when they won.
Huh? You know what I mean?
Yo,
that was it. But besides that, it was straight New York.
Yankees. New York, because we want to identify what's hot.
Yeah.
And then when the Blue Jays went back to back, we all wanted to wear
100%. That cracked the code, and we say, okay, you know what? We're repping Canada right now.
That cracked the code for a lot of things. I made money on that day.
Yeah.
The Blue Jays, when they went back to back, printing shirts.
Crazy. Yeah. You just got to see a space and get in that space.
That's what I'm saying. Like, opportunity, there, you got to get the lightning in the bottle kind of thing, man. You got to get that. But I just knew that brands speak to the audience of emotions, right? So I knew that if you can create something that kind of is reflective of that, you're in it. So the Scarborough thing, people, and again, I say that because I look at it like when the Raptors won, Raptors wasn't for black people. Raptors weren't for white people. Raptors was for everybody. The community as a whole, globally, everyone wanted the Red Raptors. So I look at Scarborough that when people see that, they know it's for everybody to wear. And that's what I want to be a part of, right?
You want to be a part of and make everybody know, listen, it's Scarborough. This is where we live. This is where we grew up. There's a community, a big community in Scarborough. You know what I mean?
And doing great things.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to ask you. How important is it for you to show Scarborough in a positive light?
Because we are the epicenter of creativity, man. There's so many people who came out of Scarborough. Like I said, the people who I put up on the wall, people didn't realize they're from Scarborough, and there's so many other people.
Like Lily Singh, I had no clue she was from Scarborough.
And she reps it to the T.
What? I thought all this time Lily was from Brampton.
Brampton, yeah, man. Scarborough.
And even another one that shocked me was Cardi. I had no clue. Yeah, Cardi was originally from Scarborough.
Born. And like again, there's like Socrates on Port Union.
Yes. Sock I did know, but Cardi, no idea.
No idea, yeah. There's so many, like even hockey players, man. Like shoot. And see the old age happens when you turn this. Yeah.
When it's conversation and the lights are on,
man,
everything kind of goes out.
That's who he is. And you go home, that's what I was trying to say.
Always. You know how many times I get a phone call, a message after the fact. Oh, that's what I was talking. Oh, I forgot to. It's part of when you're having a conversation. Nobody expects you to be perfect and scripted.
But if they can read my brain or see the visual, they know where I'm coming from. I see him because he plays for. With I'm making these two black guys are the only black guys on the hockey team. Okay.
You see, I'm not into sports, so I can't even help
you. So you can't even help me.
I can't help.
So you let me sink myself, right?
It's all good. Listen, I got a round here called Rapid Facts. I ask you some quick questions. You give me back some quick answers. All right?
Go ahead.
Down. All right. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
All right. Got big one. All right. What's your biggest fear?
Being forgotten.
Yeah.
They said that in life, where the biggest treasures are, is in a cemetery, because those are the things that all the gifts that people didn't get time to utilize. So I realized that I don't want that to be me.
Don't want to be forgotten.
No, I want to be forgotten.
Got you. Favorite food?
Curry goat.
Yeah, big one. Are you a cooker or a cleaner?
Boy, this is where I get beat up right now. I'm a cleaner at ends when I know that my stuff is messy. I have to clean everything up.
So you're going with cleaner?
Yeah, I have to, because if I say cooked, people will say I lie. Yeah. And if I say this, and my sister watches that because she goes, I definitely lied. So
I hear you.
So yeah, go on. So don't put me under the bus with the next question.
No. It's all love, bro.
Okay,
what's the last book you read or listened to?
Last book I read, I'm still listening to, is Die Empty.
Yes, I've heard of that one there.
Powerful book, man. I stop and go with that, but it gets me in the right perspective, man. And again, I hope I'm kind of getting repeating and seeing that you just gotta live in a way of just get rid of whatever that's in you, that gift.
Put it out in the world.
Put it out in the world, because you don't want to hold on to that when you're gone, man. Because you can't take it. What are you gonna do with it?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
all right.
Yeah.
What's your hobby?
Sleep right now, but actually, I'm getting back into drawing.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm stopping for a while. I think this resurgence of the whole Nuit Blanche stuff got me back into that creative mode.
Put you in that space.
And actually taking the 2 months off of this whole thing and actually reflecting. I actually start doodling, getting myself back into it. I think I'm going back to the essence, man. Okay. I think that we get caught up in the digital world. Sometimes we don't get back to the essence of what got you there.
You understand.
So I know.
What's your hidden talent that most people don't know you have?
Hidden talent?
Yeah.
I was going to say dancer, but that's a lie.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't. When you say that now, it's weird. I got like a deja vu.
Yeah.
That you said that crap.
Yeah.
Holy. It has to be something with the arts, but it's not even. I don't have a hidden talent, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, it comes down to being knowing how to flip things, like getting.
You know how to hustle.
I know how to hustle to whatever that is, and know how to. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my.
I got you.
Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah.
No, it does. How do you relax?
Walking.
I
think even with one of my homies recently, we're both going through our own little ish in a way of kind of because you get an age when you're turning 50.
Yeah,
like that's like a wide opening reality of things, man. And one day we just went for a walk, man, and just kind of cleared our brain. And walking does a lot of things for you, man. So appreciate that walk. that definitely helps.
Got you. One song that's been the biggest influence on you?
Ooh, why you say that, man? There's so many songs.
Just you could choose one.
Yeah, but you gave me just one, Don. Optimistic. Sounds of Blackness.
Yeah. Big song.
I like that song.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Favorite movie?
Unusual Suspect.
Big one with Kaiser Soze.
Oh. Yo.
I'm not a real big movie person, but there's certain classics that you got to know.
Like the way he flipped that on the wall, and he looks at the wall, and he's telling the story behind it. And the man doesn't even know until when the cup falls, and bam, he looks at the label, goes, he starts connecting the dots. Like,
crazy.
This dude's been...
But this time he had left already, straightened out his arm and his foot, and started...
Hop in the car, and then the guy who was the part of it is his driver, and disappears.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, the greatest trick,
big movie.
Yeah, the greatest trick that the devil ever did is it showed that he never even existed.
Yeah. Wicked movie.
That's
wicked movie. Would you prefer water or juice?
Water.
Water. Okay. Salty or sweet?
Sweet.
Last one here. Favorite comedian of all time?
Of all time, man. I'm going to say Richard, but David Chappelle is definitely breaking the boundaries of... I just love where he started and how he's able to evolve to where he is now, and not compromise, but understanding that what he was doing, it was impacting our people, but he's kind of pulled back, but it actually still became an interesting storyteller. Because at the end of the day, man, even with you and I, it's the gift of telling stories.
That's all.
That's all we're doing, and having the audience that want to listen to what we have to say.
Yeah,
and he has the innate ability to bring you into this world and then make it so visual that how he tells it, man. And just he's chill with it. So
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, it's the gift of speaking. He has that, man. So I admire people who can actually articulate stories and captivate
and
people.
Brings you into it.
It reels you in, man. That's rare. Like you see these motivational speakers there's some good ones, but the ones that really change you.
Yeah.
Like David G. Gary G.
Yeah, Gary V.
Sorry. Yo,
bro,
see how he speaks and how he connects with people. Like, that stuff moving. Like Mike Tyson, his stuff is like stuff like that. When people don't have to speak to you, you just want to know more.
Exactly.
So it's all about storytelling, man. So
crazy.
So Chappelle's that guy. He's a great storyteller.
Crazy. Now we got to the end of the rapid facts. Now the floor is yours. Before we get out of here, anything you want to say, anybody you want to big up, contact info, everything. Floor is yours right now.
Floor is mine. Well, again, thank you for listening, people. I think it's important that we own our stories.
100%.
I think that any opportunities you have to actually tell it, you have to continue telling it. And like I said, we're all on borrowed time. And understand that the gift that you have to share it with the world. And I've been doing it, and hopefully that people who've seen it, seen the consistency that I've been doing, that I haven't really compromised that, and support that. And I have been getting the support. And even now, at my age, I'm seeing more people helping me and continuing to support what I've been doing. If it's through the clothing or buying a painting, whatever that is, I'm seeing it, and I'm thankful for that. But I keep pushing, man. I think that if anybody has time, check out my website, which is www.liwi68.com. That's Louis68 or Live It Wear. That's the name of the brand. I'm not changing it now. This is it. I evolved to so many names, man. I can't believe as we just talking wow, I've been committing to always creating, and I'm thankful for that. The gift because I'm only a vessel, right? I'm just learning how to channel that vessel. It comes through you. It comes through me, and if I could impact people in that way, I think I'm doing my part, and I think you're doing your part because I have an opportunity like this to actually to speak to that. And hopefully it comes out good when we watch it on TV. But I'm thankful. I'm thankful, and I give thanks for that.
Definitely. Social media-wise, when they want to find it, where can they check you out?
Pretty simple. It's LIWI68. My other social media page is Stoddart 68. Birthmark 50.
Okay.
But the majority of everything's located as LIWI68.com. And the Instagram's the same thing. So, catch me on those things. Tell me that you like the video, that you were inspired, you want to buy a shirt. I mean, how about this? Can we kind of do like a contest maybe?
Of course, go on.
So, when you watch the video, to the end.
Yes.
You got to watch it. Can't watch it in between.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to think, what did I say that could work as a question after I'm watching it?
I got one for you.
So you give them the question, and then that person sends me an email that they saw it.
Where would they send the email?
That'd be info@liwi68.com. I like this promo. This is good.
Yeah.
So at the end of it, you give the question.
Yeah.
You send the email to me that you watched to the end.
Yeah.
And I will get you a Scarborough shirt.
Got you. Big, big, big.
Or you send me an email and we'll work out something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Tell you what it is. Whoever is going to send the email, what they have to do is list 3 of your previous brands. All right?
That I've done?
Yes. 3 of your previous brands. Because you spoke about them throughout the podcast, you know. But now they have to listen to the entire podcast to figure out the 3, send it an email, and they'll win themselves a prize package.
See, I should come back on the show again because we're making contests like this. Yeah, I like that.
This is what we do. It's big, big, big. And before we get you out of here, I got to definitely tell you, happy belated birthday, my
respect,
brother.
man.
You know what I mean? It was, what, yesterday?
Yesterday, brother.
Yeah.
It was 51, bro.
Yeah.
Black don't crack.
Yeah,
so,
at all.
But I'm just to make that milestone again, and now alone is coming to 2020, is actually now put me in a position I really got to think what's going to be the next move.
Yeah.
Right? And with life, there's death. So I always have to honor, like Nija, my good friend who passed away on my birthday, right?
Yeah.
So it's happiness, but at the same time, a little bit, you feel that kind
at
of
the
thing.
same time.
Yeah. But
yeah, man. Kurupt, it's been amazing. Listen, I know you have over a 30-year career. Clearly, you can't cover everything in one setting. We probably did 1 year of your career.
I think we kind of, in a way, kind of
navigating and putting it in a ball, because you've done so much. Especially, I could see it in your eyes when I'm talking to you now. It's like, man, you really got to go back and think about all of these things.
Because it's a time capsule, bro. Because I'm thinking, even when we met at the shop with, what was her name?
Urban Junction with Tracy.
Yeah,
bro.
So, and you're in the back from
yes.
But you see how you build friendships and it never changes. You just and we just evolve and get into what we're next to, and then you went to Malvern. But you never know who you connect and building relationships with.
Really, but that's all that matters in this industry that we're in, is relationships. Bro, and you said that from the jump till right now.
Yeah, and I still
strictly relationships.
Always, like, again, and the people you brought, like with Master T, with Tony, relationships. I can see him today and we can hell up and we can reminisce about moments and stuff, man.
Crazy.
Like, people, like I said, like with Miles, Adrian from Troop, like people that around the way you build relationship and you love and see the success of where they go, what they do, right? And you just gotta, it's love. It really is, man. That's how, as us as a people, we need to do that and do more of that, man. And that's why I get the opportunity to do this.
My brother Kurupt. As I said, everybody calls you Mark. What they're going to call you, you're my brother Kurupt forever. That's what I know you as, Kurupt, bro. You know what I mean? And you're the most non-corrupt person I know.
That's what I'm saying, but
you know what I mean?
It's funny when people don't know my first name.
Yeah.
I remember, Kurupt.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I already know, this is
Kurupt
the time.
with a K. You know what I mean?
This is the time when you know me.
Yeah.
And then some people in school know me as Stodds.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting how people call me with many names, man.
And from they say the name, you say, okay, this is when they jumped into my life at this timeline here. Crazy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Muscle, and this has been another Two Line Music Hut's Entertainment Report podcast, and we are out.
Scarborough.
All day, every day. This podcast is brought to you by www.twolinedmusichut.com.